Yo ho ho! What's going on, boys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you One Punch Man, 165, Absolute Evil. Now, last chapter we got to see God come down in a splendid, exquisite display of cloud structures in order to try and give Garou this power. We kind of speculated upon whether Garou actually managed to wiggle his way out of this control of gods, or if there may be some underlying scheming going on here on God's behalf. It does seem peculiar that just touching him is enough for him to transfer power, but we did see multiple failures of this exchange or proposal from God in the past with Saitama, Flashy, and Monaco, and then with Tatsumaki. So, the question is God possessing Garou still through some underhanded little technique that he has? Does Garou just think he's in control? Why do Garou's plans, goals, and intentions happen to align directly with God's? We don't know. We talked about a whole lot of shit, but in 165, that bit got dirty. That bit got dirty. 164, excuse me, was not, it wasn't expected, anticipated as one of the greatest chapters ever. But 165 bit? 165 bit? And it fulfilled it. It fulfilled it. A herald from the abyss comes together with despair. Oh. There's a lot more to talk about in this chapter than just the crazy aesthetics that I'm gonna have to put just starting from the cover page, than the crazy attacks that Garou employed throughout the chapter, then the questionability that some of these whatchamacallit, what's that shit when you clickbaity, that's what it is, that some of these clickbaiter YouTubers are trying to put in their thumbnails to try and pretend about Saitama being defeated, somebody matched Garou. We could and we're going to address a multitude of questions and topics along those lines. Like the video first though. Subscribe. And let's hear from the boys. A fly landed on me.
You know what I'm saying? Garou putting in work again. Continuing his path of destruction. A lot of people got exposed this chapter. And I'm interested to see people's takes with some of these heroes and how they stacked up to Garou and his power. But yeah, this is a completely different turn than what I expected out of not 164, but the chapter previous, 163. So things have been pretty interesting. So it should be a good discussion.
This was crazy. Like, this whole thing going off the way it did, like, this is what I really wanted from, like, the fight between Garou and Saitama. I didn't think I wanted this until it happened. I mean, just, like, everything that happened, like, the nuclear punches, the gamma mode Saitama really caught me off guard, and I love that. I'm obviously, Saitama's not down, but it's like so many big things happen. It's like Psychos came back, you know? Bang, we got confirmation about like what happened with God and Garou. Like too many good things happened in this chapter. This and animated page. I forgot about animated page. This is a phenomenal chapter.
Yeah, I think you can't really. Everybody on this podcast, I'm pretty sure, liked that chapter. It was everything I didn't expect to happen that popped up. I didn't even think about half the things like Matt was saying that were going to pop up in this chapter that did. And I was like, damn, this is pretty fire. So like, yeah, I like the fact that we focused more on Garou's kind of conversation with God. I like the fact that we got to see more about Bang and his interaction with Garou, and Garou's kind of continuation of that story with Tario as well. I like that we got to see an actual fight against Saitama and what's happening there. This has been really interesting, and I'm excited to see more. And yeah, I think I like the direction that this chapter took, and I'm kind of really happy that we didn't get the sit down at the table moment when it was first introduced a couple chapters ago, or last chapter but redrawn. I'm really happy that we're taking this direction, and maybe later on there might be a sit down, but I'm happy with where we are right now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the whole like energy manipulation, the flow of energy. Like he took that in ways I wouldn't have ever expected. Oh god,
Pause.
where's he getting that?
That's a pause.
He took that in ways I would have never imagined. That's what he said.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop. Ain't no way. Ain't no way that's pause worthy.
Can we pause on the pause for a sec? Because that's like a...
Okay, bro, whatever.
Alrighty. Yeah, like in the whole energy flow thing, just like the other guys have mentioned, got some interesting things that you don't really expect in this, chapter. The whole interaction with a Mask, for instance, it's like, why do you have a monster with you? It's like, yeah, there's a massive explosion going on behind you, but let's worry about little Mike Wazowski here,
I was so angry with Hermione at that point.
Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off. I was laughing my ass off.
In Flashy's defense of like, oh, it was really good in dark places. Oh, so it makes you wonder, is she gonna die? She might die.
No, she ain't dying.
Nah.
No.
I
They
can't.
gave her a name. It's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is true. There's been a lot of named monsters that ended up dying, but she's too pure of a monster at this point. I think we've all become attached to her, huh? But yeah, it's been a good chapter overall. So yeah, but we'll get more into other things. Also, I think my chair sunk.
Something that I found incredibly controversial after looking it over. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my notes that I had. But this is just a problem for me. Why can't Bang copy things? According to the first few pages of chapter 165, and I'll read it verbatim. Bang's water stream rock smashing fist takes knowledge of the flow of energy behind raging currents and tidal surges and recreates these within one's body. Putting this into your fists is the secret. Garou's ability to instantly absorb and copy any technique is also an extension of that flow. Okay. So if Garou learned this, and I think we talked about this before, we don't really have a way of confirming or denying whether Garou had the ability to copy techniques before he came to the dojo. We just knew that he was strong when he came to the dojo. So under the assumption that he did learn the water stream, and through the water stream is how he started to be able to copy techniques, then why doesn't Bang have this capability or have some small inkling of this capability? Or why isn't this a derivative of something that we've already seen? Why is it that out of all the disciples of the water stream rock smashing fist, including the master as well, only Garou is able to copy things as a derivative of the water stream's control of the flow of energy?
Well, I'll just say this much. I don't know if we don't know he can do it as much as we never seen him do it, because especially when you have a martial art that you've been practicing for years upon years, he's not the type to, because he was actually looking down on Garou for copying Watchdog's man's techniques. So I don't know if he can't do it. It's just that he hasn't. And I mean, when you already have a technique that's, as good as the water rot stream fist, it's like he's good, and he's been comfortable using that. But Garou has been a person who's always, like, from an early age taking in techniques and tried to make it his own, or just learn more and more and more. But Bang seems like the old school type of guy to just hone his energy on, just perfecting his technique.
For Bang as well, jumping on what Satsuki said, it's a matter of like, I guess, pride in his code, because obviously we know he had like, remember when he fought Garou previously, you know, he could have used a different fighting style, but didn't choose to because it's about the person he is today. So whilst I think Satsuki's got it right in the sense of this is Bang's fighting style and he doesn't necessarily need to change it. Whereas Garou, as we know, he's been developing his own fighting style. He's been copying other techniques, borrowing from other fighters what they can do. So I guess that's probably the main reason why someone like Garou's using this as an extension, because he's trying to take it to that next step to develop his own, whereas Bang is quite happy using his own martial art.
Yeah, and I think it's not too far-fetched to say that even if what Matt and Satsuki were saying, well, it's definitely true in terms of we haven't seen whether Bang would want to do that or not. But even if it was just a case of Garou is simply able to copy abilities because he's able to copy abilities, as in it's exclusive to him, I wouldn't be too angry about that explanation as well, because I feel like it's pretty real world in the sense of there'll be sports people or athletes who are pretty decent at like copying or impersonating other people's abilities, accents, all that type of stuff. And it's exclusive to them. Like, they seem to be of a very select group of people that can do that. So if Garou is one of those people, and it just so happens that at the dojo he was at, he was the best at it, or the only one that could do it, I don't think that would be kind of like a hole in the story or anything like that. I think it would just be Garou seems to be exceptional at doing that.
Before you go, Keishan, my main problem comes with the fact that previously I was under the impression that this was just a skill coming from Garou's genius. Like, Garou was just such a skilled and like adept fighter that in the midst of combat he can observe what's going on, and he can observe and take in your attacks and your abilities and your fighting style, and then replicate that in his own manner or to his own, basically in exactitude in Bomb's case, for example. That's where I thought it came from. But this, I don't want to use the word retcon, because that's why I'm asking, is there justifiable, concrete, already pre-existing information in the story that could justify this? And I do believe so. I think the very fact that we never saw Garou copying techniques when he first showed up to the dojo means that, okay, it's fine that this comes from the water stream. We don't have other evidence, I think, in the story to say that, oh, this should just be Garou's innate ability. I also, just like you're saying, Sundown, I wouldn't be mad if it was just his innate ability. But the only because I know you guys justified it as in a strong justification, as in the fact that, like, because this is Bang's primary fighting style, that it's common for a disciple, or it's okay for a disciple to have a derivative of that, because he's trying to come up with his own fighting style. And when you said that, I thought of those old Chinese or Japanese fighting movies or whatever, where the martial artist student. I think this happened with like Bruce Lee or those guys around there, the Wing Chun shit, where they made derivatives of that fighting style just based on their own shit. Like, Bruce Lee learned kung fu and learned a bunch of other fighting techniques or fighting styles, and then took things from them and made his own. Didn't necessarily use that. So that could be an example of this. I could definitely see it that way, but that's the only excuse or reason why I would see Bang wouldn't be able to do the copying thing, because this is just something that Garou took from the water stream on his own. I'd like to hear what you think, though, Keisha.
Okay, I'm gonna take it in a metaphysical way, I guess. Okay, just like how water takes on the properties of things that it absorbs, I think Garou's kind of doing the same thing. He's learned the water stream or streaming water rock smashing fist, and then because of the whole energy flow philosophy to it, he's, he takes what he sees, molds it into himself, and as we've seen numerous times, he perfects it. So he kind of even took his own master's, perfected style, presumably one of the most masterful martial arts we've seen in the series thus far, and has even taken it a step further. But then again, I mean, presumably that's what Bang did to create the style in the first place. Remember, he did have the, what was it? Explosive heart fit. It was a weird name, wasn't it? That, he locked away because it was just too dangerous. So I'm kind of seeing it as this, just his way of like seeing it, perfecting it, making it his own. But like I said, the whole water thing, like, like, oh, I'm taking on the cold, so it's like it's going to, have a stunning effect or whatever. Or if there's toxins in the water, you then have like toxic polluted water, in literal sense.
The example I've always heard is like if you pour water into like a container, like a plastic bin container, compared to a cup, either one, the water will still take the shape of whatever the container is. That seems to be a nice metaphor there.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Or it tastes like plastic.
Pussy tastes like plastic. All right.
Well, think about it. Certain plastics you do not want to be drinking from, and that's the reason why.
So, another more abstract question. How do you guys feel about the validity of a narrator? We've seen in our experience as manga and anime readers and watchers, we've seen a variety of uses of narrators, right? Where the narrator can be misleading, incorrect, inaccurate, describing the exactitude of the reality of events. Like, how do you guys personally feel about like narrator statements when we get those square boxes outside of One Punch Man, and then how do you feel about them inside of One Punch Man?
I think in general, when you say outside of One Punch Man, I think narration can be a good thing because it can properly convey like what the mangaka wants for a situation without compromising the characters themselves. If you understand what I'm saying, like for example, if you want to convey like, this character used this move because he was desperate or something like that. You can show that on the character's face, right? But they wouldn't say it out loud. They wouldn't say, I am desperate, I want to use this move. You know what I'm saying? So the narration in that sense can give you a more in-depth, or you could paint a scene better without compromising the characters itself and making a dialogue all weird. So I think in general that's like the good thing of narration. Like prime example is like when we saw the Chimera Invasion arc in Hunter x Hunter and how the narration was used there. Inside of One Punch Man, you talked about like how it can be misleading. It's all just to create a narrative. So while you take it as like an objective figure giving you what's being stated, I do think in the back of your mind you have to realize that the mangaka can take it anywhere they want to. So it's not necessarily like it's literally God telling us what's going to happen. It's the mangaka trying to get you in like this atmosphere. So yeah.
Yeah, not really much to add on to that. I think that's very true. I mean, like when I think of other series that do like have big narrations, I think of Hunter x Hunter, I think of One Piece, and I think of JoJo. Because they all have series where like there's big moments where instead of like a character thinking this or someone explaining it, sometimes it's a bit more impactful if someone who's completely outside the story is like, okay, this is what's going on and why. But in One Punch Man, it's fine. It's just generally like I just take it the same way. I don't really feel any different towards it than another series. This is just a way for us to explain it instead of like some character. Like it's not like bangs on the side. Like as you know, the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, which would be like a bit like, okay, why you explain this right now? It's a way to explain it to us without having to like actually like break the momentum of the story.
I'm asking this because, and as I mentioned about the validity or the truth within those statements, there have been times where things are described outlandishly or bombastically. So I'll take this as an example of this because this is what I'm referring to. The narrator says, has gained knowledge, or now Garou has gained knowledge of the flow of all energy and the behavior of all forces in the universe. And then immediately after this, we see him do an energy attack with his fists. Maybe we could say it wasn't that. Maybe we could just say like he hit him so hard that it caused that explosion. It seems like energy, especially with how he did another energy attack with a gamma ray burst in this chapter. we've never seen Garou use energy attacks like this. My question is, how do you read that statement there? There have been times where I read the narrator's comments, and he's obviously being exaggerative. It's not necessarily describing exactly what's going on by fact. It's giving flair, controlling the, as Satsuki mentioned, controlling the atmosphere of what you're reading or the scene at the time period. So, should I read this and take it as literal fact, or is the narrator like controlling the atmosphere of the scene?
I think you've got to take it as fact, only because it's not like it'd be different if a different character said it. For example, like I said, if someone in the story had said this, then like say for example, like if Bang had said this, then I'd be like, okay, but how do you know that? But the narrator, it's like I said, it's that outside perspective on it, where like he's telling us what's going on. Like, and I agree, like that the nuclear fission, that's got to be an energy attack. It's not like he punches him, of course, but it's like you literally see the energy around the attack as he does it, you know. Like, so when he says like he gains like knowledge of the flow of all energy, I have to assume as a reader, okay, the narrator's telling me this, so by all means, that's what he can do now.
In regards to the nuclear fission specifically, recently I found out that there's a lot of what's known as background radiation. So it's very possible that he's actually tapping into the innate, like, radioactive particles that just surround us on a daily basis, and that's how he's kind of just doing that particular attack. The gamma ray burst is a little more out of my area of expertise. By that, I mean, I'm a whale biologist, not a nuclear physicist. If anyone gets that reference at all. Nobody does. Also, the fly got trapped in my light somehow. I don't fucking know.
This fly.
You got a Merkle.
No, I don't even know how he got... It's a ring light. Where the fuck would it have even gone in there?
Hey, Bruno,
All of a sudden,
he's
He's in the
inside
potty
your
mouth.
light.
Yes, he got inside the light because I was like, wait, why can I see him on the other side? And he's just been going around and around and around, going fucking crazy.
He got him a look nice crib.
Blinding crib. Anyway, sorry to distract.
No, I wanted to start off with that about discussing the validity of the narrator's comments, and because I have found that a few times in the series, it's like I said, fantastical, I guess. But this instance here, I guess we should. The reason why I want to take it as fact is not because of what Matt said. It's because the author went through the effort of in canon with characters in the actual storyline confirming that this is energy. With the whole scene that we got with the captain of the nuclear submarine and the alarm going off that's indicating a nuclear event, whatever. That's the confirmation that he's releasing nuclear energy with his blast. Like Garou is releasing energy, and that's what makes me think, okay, so if this is telling me he really is releasing energy, then how factual is this narrator statement? Like, can he really control the flow of all energy? What does that mean? Like, if Homeless throws a bomb at him, can he like deflect that, absorb that? Like, what would he do to it? How does that work? What does that statement mean?
I mean, he probably just deflect it like water flow. Like, he probably just like knock it away.
Yeah, it's Homeless. The all life eradication fist. What do you think?
And another name for that. Also, the fly escaped.
Bro, fuck this fly, Keishan.
What?
Jesus.
It's something that's happening. It's kind of weird.
We don't want to hear about it unless you kill it. Kill it
That's
and show it
fine.
on stream.
Yeah, show us the body.
How the hell would I be able to do that if I flick it and it fucking dies and goes somewhere else? But anyway,
you got- That's all you got to do.
All Life Eradication Fist. Cool name. Whack name. Better than the Dragon Slayer or God Slayer Fist. What are you thinking?
See, I'm not gonna lie. I think I think it sounds kind of cool, like All Life Eradication Fist. But then I read through it again, and I'm just like, kind of sounds kind of whack. But I think a lot of Garou's moves, especially as of late, like before Fajin and stuff like that, they were all pretty wacky names, if I remember correctly. So I think Garou just has like, he's a good fighter. His literacy skills ain't that great. He needs to go back to school.
yeah, there's no nuance in his naming conventions. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, Godslayer Fist sounds cooler, but the technique names are on another level for All Life Eradication Fist.
I fuck with it. I like it. It's definitely better than what was the attack name? I keep forgetting it.
Is the extreme power attack?
There's extreme power attack. There's ascending
And
attack.
that one.
There's-
one.
Yeah.
Which then got changed to Fajin, which is way better. So that was great.
Absolutely.
And then so many people were like, "What the hell's Fajin?"
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know until you guys told me.
So like, is this the most destructive? Like first, what'd you guys feel when you saw these
Grim,
explosions?
do I ask you the question?
What do you mean?
Garou or Boros?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta repeat this. Fuck. Okay.
Is your answer still right? One word. Is it Garou or Boros?
Well, girl.
Okay, that's fine. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to, man. Like, this was a whole different thing. Like, I was surprised at every single part of the chapter. This is what I wanted for every single part of this fight. Every single chapter since this fight started, I think it was like 160. We should have seen Garou, like, we did, but it was booty. The transformations were cheeks, like some demonic ugly shit. Ugh. Like, it wasn't appealing. That's what we should have got. This, my god, man, this was good. This was, yeah.
This is what the fight needed to be. Yeah.
Bro, last chapter, and then this chapter, or the end of last chapter, and then this chapter, completely turned the fight around. Like, this is the right amount of content, or the right type of content that was being hyped up. The hype was way, way, way crazier than what we were actually getting in the chapters. And for all intents and purposes, I was anticipating that things were going to have to change or jump up in scale like they have. But it didn't seem like it was. Especially when we sat down at the table, I was like, what do you do from here? I don't know what you do from here. But this is like one chapter. In one, and it's not even the same, bro. Like, the feats we got in the beginning of this fight, just unappealing, bro. Honestly, unappealing. The extreme Fajin, so unappealing. But this nuclear fusion attack bit, the gamma rays bit, that shit was gas, bro. Oh my god, bro. And then the Saitama mode, bro. There's all kinds of shit to get into here, bro. Like, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
That was the craziest moment. That, to me, like, I know a lot of crazy things happen in this chapter. That was the one. I was like, when he's talking about the modes and Shake, and then he's like, how's this one? I was like, I had no idea what it was going to be. Saitama was the last thing I expected to show up. When his face starts to change, that, I know, like, some people thought that was weird. Like, it sounded like...
It looked like he had a mouth opening up and Saitama was just in there. And it was like, what the fuck am I even looking at? What do you mean Saitama mode?
Like that's like that's more terrifying than like mods than like Orochi mode or Bang. I don't know what other modes you'd have. But like
that's the part I found like I'm same hype level, bro. Same hype level as you. This is not really affecting the hype, but I was like, what else? What other mode could you copy that I would care about? You copied Cape. Like
see what I actually would have thought would have been even cooler is if he started with like a Boros mode, because it's not like he just knows about Saitama. He knows about Boros. So if he started with a Boros mode,
how he know about
then, like,
Boros?
wait, I was gonna say, how does he know about?
Because well, apparently this guy's got like knowledge of the flow of the entire universe. Surely, like knowing about Boros and stuff like that isn't too far fetched, right? Maybe. No.
I would
say
need.
that because it's like Garou's like actual like opponent. So like if he pulled out like a mode rover or something, then I'm like, yeah, I believe that. But like
I didn't even think about that nigga rover mode, nigga. Bro, how do you become more durable? How does this Garou become, bro? If he pulled out a rover mode, the nigga would be Cock Diesel. He'd be galactical. It would be galactical Garou, bro. Fuck the cosmos, galactical Garou, bitch. Like multi cluster Garou, bitch. Like observable universe Garou type durability, bro. Like you gonna have to the whole thing to take out, bro. Rover mode Garou, that's better than Saitama mode. It's better than Saitama mode.
No, it's not. It's
And then he fights
not.
like Watchdog Man.
Nigga. Bro,
I got one for you. I got one for you, Graham. The King Engine.
Yeah.
Yo, King did clap his ass. Yo, King did clap. That's no. He remembered. He remembered it was Saitama.
It would be funny if he tried to mimic him, though.
What if he actually created, like, King's big ultimate attack?
The ultimate Hellfire Burst
uses
motion cannon?
Yeah, and that's like his King mode.
Bro.
Imagine that.
Because then everyone would see it, but like, is that what you could do, Mr. King? And he's like, yeah. Yeah.
It's a little weaker than mine, but yeah.
That's it. Perfect.
I mean, you see, he goes over to the left. I'm more like straight down the middle, but it's about the same.
He ain't got the right mechanics, but it's alright. It's cool.
I mean, if we take what Sundown was saying as a plausibility, then shit, he looked at EC. So EC mode next.
Actually, yeah.
No.
What would EC mode do?
He thought against
run
Sage
into
as well.
him. That's what it'd do.
Oh shit!
Just run into him and like hang his arm out and just carry on running in circles, trying to get 1,000 of them in. But yeah, so essentially, if he had copied someone like that we already know is lesser than Saitama, but like that first, so we'd be like, oh crap, like he can actually copy these people directly and then done a Saitama. I think that would have been maybe more surprising, but I feel like because of how shocking this was, there was no kind of better way to go about it. It was just one moment he was like, yeah, I can copy people, and then Saitama, I was like, yo, damn, that's pretty sick.
Do you think we'll see any other modes now? Or because we've already said, like, mode Saitama, like, there's nowhere else to really go from here?
Yeah, so that's kind of why I hope there would have been something beforehand, because I don't feel there's anywhere to go after you've copied Saitama. Is there anyone better to copy, really? Maybe if it was, like, situational, but I don't think... Like, who does he copy? Tatsumaki? He doesn't really have her abilities.
The only thing you could argue is because, like he says, like Saitama's got like no technique at all. Like it's just pure power. Is like if he literally does do other people because he can just use the technique better now. So like he could even be like like you said, mode Tatsumaki, mode Dark Shine, mode whatever. But because he's actually like fought them and now he's like I can use technique better than you can. That's the reason he'd do it.
And he did go down to them, so we could definitely see quite a few different modes of just like fucking with them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's why would you need modes to clap the remains of these heroes besides Atomic? Like, you don't. You don't really need a mold for them.
Well, think about it. His whole thing is to strike fear into the world. Well, when all of your techniques are completely being negated and or being improved and outshowing you, that's kind of terrifying for an individual.
That's crazy dick riding. That's insane.
And then he's like, oh, well, guess what? I also have my own techniques, which are way better. And then he just like fucking nukes them all.
You think what Keisha's saying is dick riding?
No, I'm saying I was saying Keisha. I was saying Garou.
Oh.
I'm like, yo, what you using my technique for, bro? Get your own shit. Get off my Get off
my
me.
mask would just go fucking crazy. It's like, you think you can defeat me, the greatest A-ranked hero? And it's like, kinda yes. And then he just, I'm slipping on a new mask.
He was riding that Watchdog dick for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like I know Watchdog just, in Q City, like, damn, man, they all up on me, huh? I don't get no credit for this, huh? That's cool.
That's why I want to see, like, if he goes mode rover and he starts using some of the movements that he learned in that fight.
Yeah, that's why I still like. I know what you guys are saying. Like with, him copying Saitama, it feels like he already reached a certain pinnacle. But I think using certain moves in different situations will still be hype. Because if he pulled out some rover thing, he just like shoots those blasts, like, yo, that's gonna be hype to me.
Hell yeah.
I don't care.
Hell yeah.
His fair question then, if you could, what mode would you like to see? Out of all the opponents Garou's faced, is there a mode you'd like to see in particular?
I think my vote would go to rover.
If he copied a psychic technique, I would probably on the spot just cream.
Oh god.
Oh, you gay. All right. That's probably my so that's okay.
I mean, it is technically an energy. We just don't know exactly where it comes from.
The reason I say that is because, like, martial arts is, it's in the realm of possibility. But I think if you do something like Esper abilities, then it's just like, yo, it opens up so many possibilities. Because if he was able to do that, and psychic abilities just by itself, not even taking into account the power, because we've seen someone like Gearspur. The Esper powers themselves are just super dangerous and cause a lot of matchup issues. So if he were to use that against Saitama, that would be, for me, that would probably be one of the most hype things he could pull off.
I think.
Anyone else got one?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see him copy some of Orochi's techniques. Not because like Orochi was particularly effective, but just because he was the only one who was like an actual martial artist. So seeing him use more of his techniques would be cool.
I mean, Orochi beat him fair and square, so
yeah.
I think maybe that, or I don't know if there'd be like a mode Genos he could do or something. I know he thought him ages ago, but like if he could copy like some of Genos' techniques, and actually might even make him better. Like I think it's like the energy realm more than anything. Grim's okay with that, I think.
Nigga, a machine gun blow from Garou.
Nah, dude, we need to see a Garou version of what was that move called? He used against Psychos, the like blue electric dragon.
Oh, the glue shoes.
Oh.
Blue shoes. Blue shoes. I got blue shoes.
Yeah, if like Mojano just shoots glue out all over the floor, that'd be incredible.
Oh my god. It would be interesting with Genos, and then Genos is like, well, I know when I'm inevitably destroyed, I know what I want to use as my next body's material. I need some of his DNA.
So, this eradication fist, or excuse me, all life eradication fist, nuclear fusion, or was it fission or fusion? I think it was fusion.
Fission.
I forget what's the difference between those two.
I think fission is splitting and fusion is like.
Yeah. Fission is. Yeah.
That's the splitting of the atom to get the energy.
With random thought. Wouldn't it be cool if Garou pulled out an atomic or a focused atomic slash?
Stop.
We see it for the first time.
Stop.
And it's actually
It is
atomic.
his technique. Oh my god! If Garou is the first person in the series to use the atomic slash to focus,
Bro,
mate, some
I
blade
dropped.
focused atomic slash, and then
I
it's
dropped.
like that's it.
I dropped. Fuck it.
Good.
It's like, and I don't even need a sword. I just use my hand.
If
Shit.
Garou pulls out a focused atomic slash,
I mean, he could do it without even copying atomic. Is the funny thing? He's like,
That'd be nasty. That's nasty work.
He's like, I can use nuclear abilities. Huh, okay. Atomic, focus, slash.
see this also like to really like get a little bit deeper into it too. I always like when you think whatever it is, pretending, thinking, like fantasizing, whatever it is. Whenever I think about like some of the powers that we see in One Punch Man or like energy attacks in general in any series, to translate into the real world, that's what I already consider it. It's really just really high energy radiation that's being thrown out. Like it's a beam of light when you turn a flashlight on. It's the exact same thing as like technically one of Homeless's like beam cannons that he threw at Zombie when he first showed up. It's the exact same thing. It just has a lot more energy and it's different wavelength or something like that. Like it should be radiation. So it makes me think: are Genos' blasts different than like all the other blasts we've seen in this series? Like is Rover's blast, Genos? Who else had cannons out here?
Yeah, Rover, Genos, Orochi.
Orochi.
In terms of energy, Homeless, Psychos.
I doubt.
Psychos' lasers.
Yeah, but that was psychic energy.
No.
I'm not sure if that would fall in the same spectrum.
Because we have a whole theory for Vaccine Man being affiliated with Homeless, and this chapter here, we'll speculate in a moment, but this chapter here somewhat alludes to a confirmation, speculatively.
Oh my god, I just had a thought, guys. Okay, the whole thing with how, just like you were mentioning Vaccine Man and being connected with Homeless there, they had, the same powers. Well, Garou's understanding of the flow of energy is far superior to theirs, hence why he's able to do different style of energy attacks where they were like, explosions, fire, this is what we'll do. It's all they knew how to do. He's just taking it to the next level.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I love that.
We should move to it. The whole Psychos thing. The comments here from Psychos are alluding to these attacks from Garou being the same as Homeless's orbs. And I'll read the dialogue here before you guys comment. It says, are they the same as Homeless Emperor's energy spheres? Divine power? They're so massive. So that's what I took that comment as. That's why I'm saying this. And I think the story's trying to tell us that Homeless's orbs are the same energy that Garou is producing right now. So that means that Homeless's arms were radioactive forms of energy. And if that's the case, then our theories of Vaccine Man, which are still theories and only that, could mean that Vaccine Man also had some pretty radioactive energy. And if that's the case, then I would consider those three individuals, including Sairochi and her Earth Cutter, so those four individuals, to have separate power than the rest of the characters. Case in point, Genos, Psychos with just her lasers, Orochi. Are those attacks not like high power radiation? Is it just like heat cannons, like they said for Rover? I think they called Rover's heat bombs. He would count this in this trifecta too. Are those different types of energy attacks, or how are you guys looking at it?
I mean, honestly, I'm probably not looking that deep into it. I'm just like, that's an energy attack for the most part. I mean, like, it's different for like. So like, obviously, like this character like Genos, who I'm like, yeah, that's heat cannons because that's what's explained to us. But with this stuff, I'm just like, oh, it's energy. Like, I know, I don't like. I think you're right. You're onto something with like the whole radioactive stuff, but it's generally not something I thought too much about.
Yeah, I think same for me. It's just whenever I see those attacks, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's an energy attack, or that's a heat-based attack, light-based attack.
Big
But
explosion.
yeah, it's just like, oh, damn, that's a big one. Pretty much the same reaction as
Think through me
Psychos,
clapping,
actually.
Did you say?
Nothing. Carry on.
Usually I just ever refer if it's like more specific. Like Genos, his is a little ambiguous because, you know, it comes out as fire, but we don't really know what his power core is actually powered by. So there could be some kind of other element thrown in there at some point in the future in one of his future upgrades. But like Psychos, I believe that's more on the line of it was just an amplified version of her psychic energies that she was just focusing into the beam.
So you
The
think the Earth
continent
Cutter
one.
is really just her eye cannons, her eye beams?
Yeah, probably just maximized, and she just focused it in such a grand scale. Because that's an energy she could already use, so she didn't really need something else because it was something she already had. The other examples, you know, Vaccine Man, whatever the fuck he was before, we have no idea, just some random dude. It was like, he didn't have any energy attacks that we presumably could infer, and we know Homeless didn't, because man was just a freaking salary worker. So, it's like, yeah, I think if they have something to work with already, they're going to do that, and it's just going to be a grander version. But otherwise, you just kind of get basic, like, explosion.
Did you guys like that arch Psychos had when she was looking at those bobs?
Absolutely. Can we appreciate that Psychos is back in the story though? Before we talk about our ass, because we didn't say anything about
Damn,
that.
so we got to talk about her personality and shit, and like who she is.
Not
as a
even
person
personality, just
before
Yeah,
we
I
talk
was a
about
little
them cheeks.
surprised, let's say.
literally just her appearance back into the story, because I've been asking Murata, I've been asking the One Punch Man community, what happened to Psychos? Why is she not on the battlefield? What's going on?
Someone did
And
the maths. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but it's been like a year and a half, like since we last saw Psychos.
Jeez.
Damn, that's longer than I would have thought.
I'll
damn
try and find
shame.
it.
We've been in this arc for a year and a half.
We've been in it
hell,
longer
we've
than
been
you
in
think.
this
way
arc like
longer.
3 years.
Jeez.
We've been in this art since we started this podcast, pretty much.
Low-key.
Yeah, I joined the podcast, I think, like, around chapter 92. So,
I want to say we started this late 2018, so probably like
chapter
around
94.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
Year was 2018 for sure though, so 4 years. 4 years.
4 years of Fubuti.
I wish.
It's worth it. We've seen Fubuti a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We seen her in this chapter.
We don't see Fubuti in this chapter. We do?
In this chapter? Yeah, we do.
yeah, it's during the...
Are you questioning Satsuki if he saw Fubuki in this chapter?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was probably during one of the group shots of the heroes, I imagine.
Let me see.
Which
Yeah,
really have
Garou
to
was
wonder, with all the radiation that is being emitted by Garou so relatively close to everybody, how has nobody died from radiation poisoning or showing the effects of it at this point?
Oh, there she is. Yeah, I don't know,
That-
bro. They should have all been dead.
Yeah, I think the whole radiation thing is probably looking a little too deep. I mean, speaking realistically, if you've got a gamma ray burst thing, which they described as like how a star collapses or something like that, the planet would be gone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because stars are usually pretty damn big.
Yeah. I mean, Saitama did say, "Why can't let they hit the ground?" But to me, that's the biggest question for this chapter. No.
No, I'm looking at a panel.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed in some of these heroes, man.
Well, I mean, most of them are kind of like, oh, I didn't even notice. We got Purry in the background, just face down in the dirt, naked.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to go to this because we got a lot more stuff we got to go to first. But it's crazy how Atomic has to protect all these heroes until Saitama gets here. Damn, bro.
Are we looking at the same picture of Atomic?
Like, I don't know how Atomic about to hold him off while all these heroes run away. But man,
Where is he in this pan? Oh, yeah. He's way in the back. Also on his back.
maybe he'll use the focus atomic slash.
yeah, he's gonna use the FAS to hold off Garou until Saitama arrives, or Blast is gonna show up and fight Garou.
There's also, genuinely, we've got like Pig God's like secret thing he's hiding.
Yeah, I was really hoping we'd find out what the fuck that was by now.
Mac, you deserve. Keishan, get your hose and give some to Matt, bro. Like, he deserves to get his meat sucked. Brian even considered that whatsoever, dog.
Oh no, I thought you meant hosing like garden hose.
No.
Yeah, that was the joke, Matt. So you got that
We're
joke.
talking about promiscuous women. Do you know what type of stock boost? Do you know what type of like credibility, hype would come down? Do you know what type of fan base would enlarge just in magnitudes if Pig God did anything big? Like if Pig God takes a punch from Cosmic Garou,
What do you want? Pig God's been doing everything in this arc. He's incredible.
before that, bro.
Yeah.
Before Pig God put in work, niggas is already just sucking Pig God. But Pig God put in a whole bunch of work. I'll give you that. He put in a whole bunch of work, and now niggas are deep throwing Pig God. You know what will happen if Pig God just takes a punch from Cosmic, let alone reveals his super secret mode and fights Cosmic? It won't be a troll anymore. Like, he'll be called Pig God for a reason.
He just pulls out a hazmat suit and he's like, "Yep, alright, time to go to school."
I also like he's Scottish. I do quite like that touch.
Like, do you really think? I got everybody on the surface right now. Why are we talking about this? We can't be talking about this right now. We're skipping shit.
I want to
But
talk
it's
about
fun.
Go back. We'll talk about it, but I do want to talk about this pretty soon.
That's right. Matt can't be here forever. Okay, big explosions, big power. Do you guys like the gift that Murata did, right?
I actually didn't get to see it because the version of it I read, I was like, why is this panel colored? And then later I found out it was a GIF, and I was like, really? The
Yeah, I
fuck?
did
Why
the
didn't it
same
work?
I actually did the same thing. I saw it the same way as you. It was a still panel, and I was like, "What's this?" But then I saw the other version, and I was like, "Actually, this is pretty damn cool." I really liked it. It was like just getting that little bit of motion and making it look a little bit kind of anime-ish really added to the chapter, I thought. So I was really impressed. And the more of the animation work that Murata does, hoping he joins in on season 3. And who knows? Maybe we'll get some badass stuff moving on.
It really makes you wonder what he could do if he just had more time and just devoted it all to animation.
Fuck that.
No, I can't wait that long for One Punch Man.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, especially if he had some like extra help, it wasn't just him doing it.
There's something to reading a novel And there's something to reading a manga. It's just different. Like, you're reading a nice, good fiction, bro. But that shit just paints a picture in your head. Like, you're into it. Once you immerse in a good ass book, you're in there, bro. It's like being there. And a manga too. If you really get immersed into a manga, but an anime is not the same. You don't get the same freedom of imagination with an anime as you do with the other mediums. And to waste this god's talents on anime, like, I know it's just like a quick gift, but like, if this is the quality of season 3, I'm dropping. I'm dropping.
I don't think you got to worry about that.
But no, the anime's definitely like soured my opinions of One Punch Man animated, or season 2, excuse me. That is, I'm not looking forward to season 3. And I actually just heard, or I've been seeing some news on Twitter and on Discord about apparently Sony having the ability to make a live action One Punch Man movie. I have no idea the validity of any of that. But if that happens, man, are we in for some
Doo-doo.
thrashing.
Man, if they cast The Rock as Saitama, I'll be done. No
you know,
more.
you're not trying to get cast as Darshan, Grim?
I ain't that big, bro.
I want to be cast as the guy from Deep Sea King Arc who's like, these heroes aren't actually heroes, though. That's what I want to be.
You're gonna get like death threats, like for real.
I am, but then there'll be like the 5 people on this like, that's the guy from YouTube.
Oh my god, he was reacting to it. Now he's a part of it. Holy shit, it came full circle. Good on you.
Oh shit! No,
If there's anyone, Matt would have to be Showerhead, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Until
Yeah,
they
like-
read the credits,
Let's get
they
like
wouldn't even
4
know.
or
it was
5
you.
films just so Showerhead could show up.
Yeah, no,
that's my guy. That's my guy.
we would definitely need live action costumes. Like, I don't know, CG. I don't know if you could CGI that shit and be
No,
successful.
I'll make the costume myself for Showerhead. It's fine. I'll work on it.
Oh god.
Oh shit! But no, I definitely appreciated the GIF. It did add a really nice flair to the chapter. Made it more epic, seem more epic. And I'm looking forward to more of that. Definitely. So we talked about, the Saitama mode, consecutive normal punches being canceled out. Did this scare you?
As in, am I fearful for Saitama to lose?
Did you get that
No.
feeling at all in this chapter?
No.
Or let me expand the spectrum there. Including losing, but also including loss of pride, just like a feeling of like, oh really? Like,
Saitama in this fight is going to be pushed the way we never seen him push. We're going to have to see him for real pull out some techniques, especially because he's nerfed himself in this fight by wanting to take Garou alive. So already then and there, he can't go full power with some of these techniques. So you're probably going to see a lot of diversity from Saitama, which is kind of crazy to say.
Do you think we'll get some new series, or we're going to see some repeats of old stuff? Or
see, this is what I'm talking about.
I feel like we'll get something new. I think we'll get something new this time.
How?
so just to correct, because Saitama said like previously, it's like in a side chapter, like he's never really tried in a fight, like including like series not being like an actual like serious technique of his. Do you think we'll get like an actual some form of like, okay, this is like an actual series?
So the series is confirmed to not be a full power attack.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's confirmed to not be an attack that has any bearing on his actual strength.
Yeah, It's just it's something with a bit more effort, is what he calls. But like we've seen, like the variety of like what a series can do. It's not like it's like a consistent power. Like what, like the Sirius punch like 3 times. The first time we saw it split the sky across the earth. The second time was when it just evaporated Elder Centipede, and the third time was when it split the sea. They're not exact same power scaling.
Yeah, they vary in intensity. I said that I didn't consider those as being a clarifying example. And I was scared that first having Saitama's consecutive punches be matched, that people would get the perception that Garou's matching Saitama. As in, like, he's at a skill level that's a lot higher now, or comparable to Saitama's. And Garou's dialogue actually alluded to this. I think he actually verbatim said it. But once again, that's not the actuality of the situation. This does, somewhat to a small degree, lead into what we talked about in the beginning of the video, about the validity of certain comments, where they're coming from, and how they're phrased. I definitely found Garou saying that he's matching Saitama's power, or that he's on the same tier of power as Saitama. I definitely found that to be like just hype, empty hype, and just him talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like very much a monster saying like, "Oh, I'm amazing." Like a lot of monsters get on like this high when they become monsters. Like you remember Boros, right? Where he's like, "It's only about a time before you defeat it," and Saitama was like, "Are we done yet?" Like it's that kind of hype. All monsters go on it when they transform. They're like on a high from their power boost. So that's all it is at this point. Because there's literally like a panel where after he's like, "Oh man, I made a big deal about telling that kid and we get scrapped." And Garou just like has that little pause before he responds, where it's almost like, "Are you serious? Like, are you making fun of me?" That's how I saw that little panel, at least.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we just discussed. Yeah, we just discussed. It's just Garou talking shit.
Pretty much, yeah. But I have to admit, when I saw Saitama take that punch, so the consecutive normal punches, that was matched, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is impressive." But then when you see that panel where they both punch each other at the same time, and actually seeing Saitama's head recoil and like snap back, that was when I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is for real, for real! Like this is actually happening."
That was a moment where I was a bit concerned. And then I was like, wait, because the next panel where he's like holding his nose, swimming up and like, "It's fine, it's okay."
Yeah.
Saitama, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, legit.
Yeah. So that's the only one. Exactly. Yeah, that's the only one because his head actually snaps back and he's like face is contorted. I was like, damn, he actually like took a punch. Saitama actually got not necessarily hurt, but it looks like he actually got punched. So that was interesting. Then after that, I was like, wait, is he bleeding from his nose? But I don't think he was.
No, that was water.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that made me feel weird and like concerned when I was reading the same moments you guys were expressing. To say I felt the same way, and then I saw this thumbnail on YouTube from Zhoniin and somebody else. I think it was King of Lightning, it's obvious clickbait, but they're out there talking about some like, "Oh, is Saitama getting mad? So Saitama finally gonna be defeated?" type shit. Like,
I remember Kings because it's like, well, he goes like, "Saitama's been beaten, maybe," and I was like, "No." So that the answer's no. Then it's just yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't really get why people do that.
It's clickbait. It's strong clickbait.
It is. Because people will watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, it got me emotionally
enraged.
Bro, I was mad when I saw that. That's the first thing I talked about in my review. Like, that wasn't even anywhere near on my notes. And then when I saw that, I was like, hell nah. Niggas is not finna try and pretend that Saitama finna get clapped. Hell nah. I was not. I'm still mad about that shit. Like, you know who you're talking about? You piece of shit, you unloyal fuck. Wait, you got me cursing this. I'm potty mouth Keishan, bro. I'm basically potty mouth Keishan now, bro. Damn. All because people wanted to pretend that Saitama was about to get defeated. Like, come on, bro. That's disrespectful.
Potty mouth? Why do I need a potty when I've got the F-bomb right here?
Yeah, but I have to admit,
Don't make me use this.
When we see that panel when Saitama's kind of just looking down at his hand, I don't know. I don't know if it was the way it was drawn, but it did look like one of his fingers was like busted or broken. So I was like, damn, was that like from the consecutive normal punches as well? But then I was like, nah, it's Saitama. He's good. And considering how calm he is there, but he's like, man, I told the kid I wouldn't kick your ass, but now you're making me. So I was like, okay, yeah, he's cool. He's just chilling.
Did you get the news of the translation controversy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so apparently the translator, the dude who translated this on Reddit, said that the statement here on this very same panel we addressed on page 23, he would like to have it, or he would have translated it differently, or he would like to change the translation. So it says, and I went and made a big deal about telling that kid I wouldn't get scratched. Well, I believe the version that you read and I first read, it said that he went and made a big deal about not hurting Garou. That gave us the perception. Yeah, that gave us the perception that okay, now Saitama's gonna get serious, and it threw more fire into the whole speculation about whether Garou was actually matching Saitama or not. But this clarifies that. I still haven't gone back to read the chapter where Saitama clarified that, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to get hurt, which is why I'm looking for more information. I'm a little bit confused. But that's what from what I understand, the translator tried to specify after the fact. And has changed.
Okay, so is the translation that we read then the one where he's saying he's trying not to hurt Garou? Is that the one that he's sticking with?
No, that's the one that's being revised.
That's the one so he's revoking that. That's interesting. That's interesting because both could have worked, because I think he promised Tario both things, right? He didn't really promise Tario he wouldn't get hurt. He kind of just said, yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to get hurt.
Okay.
But he did promise Tario that he wouldn't hurt Garou. So I think he has spoken to Tario about both those things, though.
Okay. Then that is justification then. He still hasn't broken the promise about not clapping Garou's cheeks. But he's gotten a little scratched up here. Okay. I mean, this is not some... To me, it's really about pride. Like, this is caped. You don't touch caped. Cape does that thing. To see him like scratched up like this, you gotta remember too, man. Like I wasn't reading this when the Boros fight was coming out. I was a manga or anime only until I finished the anime, and then I hopped onto the manga. Like this is my first time seeing a fight of this scale up close in person, chapter to chapter. Like I don't know what I would have felt whenever Boros kicked Saitama to the moon. I would have been hyped as hell, but
I'll tell you what I felt when that happened, because that's where the chapter ended. The chapter ended with Saitama landed on the moon, and then we had to wait like 2-3 months for the next one. And I was like, what?
Yeah, man. So like, I'm definitely conflicted about this. Don't get me wrong. If anybody's gonna be the one that's putting scratches, as Saitama puts it, on caped, it would have to be Garou. Nobody else has earned that. Like the attachment that we have to this character is rightful. Like Garou changed the flow of the game when it came to the surface. Like the surface is probably one of the best portions of One Punch Man. Arguably the best arc of One Punch Man, the surface fight. But when Garou came up to the surface, bro, that shit changed. Not to mention everything that we've seen him do. I think he's the only person who should rightfully be able to do this, or has earned the right or the respect as a character to be able to harm Caped. But I still don't like it.
I think an almost fair way to look at it on how like strong a character is in One Punch Man is not how much they actually hurt Saitama, but maybe how much they actually damage his outfit, really. Which sounds weird, but like if you look at everything that Saitama's been through, like you look at like all the damage the outfit took to Boros, Saitama was fine, but like he lost his cape nearly, so maybe that's the way to look. If someone really wants to power scale it, is Jerry just look at how much damage Saitama took throughout this arc on his outfit. That's the way to measure how dangerous the threat was.
That is standard in anime too. You see people losing like arm sleeves and shit all the time. They used to do that a lot for Bleach. That was badass in Bleach.
Very standard in Dragon Ball as well. It's like when you've taken the shirt off the character, but then there's like where they tucked it in, and then there's that little bit of the shirt left.
Yeah, left over, yeah.
It's like, shit's getting real.
Or like when the characters are all bandaged up and shit, like, oh, this thing got clapped. They're super duper clapped. There's no reason to have bandages all over like that.
Especially on the parts of the body that really didn't get hit. It's like, they left me my moneymaker, but I'm going to put it in a full body cast regardless.
Okay, so I said this is the most important part of the chapter to me, or the most important question of the chapter, and we're here. So, Garou says this. That reminds me. I said I would show that brat how powerless heroes are, didn't I? And then he released the all-life eradication fist, Gamma Ray Burst. Diabolical. It's the only thing that comes to mind. Diabolical. Where is Saitama?
On his way back. To be fair, I was saying the same shit because I'm like, yo, why is Garou giving speeches? Where's Saitama in the middle of all this? Like, he up there looking at all the heroes, giving like this 5-minute speech. I'm like, yo, okay, Saitama, come on now. What's up? Y'all fighting at light speed. Come on, tighten up.
Yeah, but I'm hoping when this is animated, if anybody watched like One Piece when Luffy first punched that celestial dragon and everything in the anime kind of went black and white, I'm hoping when this is animated they kind of follow suit and everything just goes black and white, because I feel like that would be perfect for this scene. Like Gamma Ray Burst and then just black and white. That would be awesome.
That'd be super cool. The only thing I can think of where Saitama is like, so where like Boros kicked into the moon, right? He landed on the moon because he had something to stop him because he was in the middle of the air. And obviously Saitama can't fly, so like, is he just like continually like moving at this point? Is he just like, is he flying still at this point? Because at this point, like, if this is like super powerful, it's gonna get to the point where like Saitama ends up like circling the globe and comes back.
I think he's in space. Yeah, I think this is a moon kick type attack. That's what I'm anticipating.
He's on the moon again, except this time he's just like, well, I know it's worth a lot of money, these moon rocks, so I'm just gonna grab a few before I go back down.
No, not even the moon. It would have to be something farther away to scale to give Garou some hype. But if it's the moon too, that also gives some hype and some scale too. I don't know.
Well, one of my first thoughts after seeing how this attack is executed, where Garou does like 2 blasts from it, I was like, is this going to circle the planet? And Saitama presumably is caught up in one of those, and then if it does circle the Earth, does it mean that Saitama's going to get smashed between these 2 blasts then?
Yeah, it could be the case, I suppose. If it does circle around and he's being carried through with it and he's constantly moving. Could be the case, yeah. I think I'm kind of with Grim. I'm expecting him to be like maybe off planet. I thought it was a bit weird. This is like a really contrived and out there kind of theory, but this attack kind of looked similar-ish to Blast's kind of portal. So I was wondering if this would result in some sort of like dimensional tear or something like that. But I doubt that's going to be the case. Like a Saitama meeting Blast kind of thing. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Also, it's kind of funny that he does a kind of a Naruto hand signs kind of deal while he's charging it up.
Um, so now we're back to it. Page 30, chapter 165. I didn't expect this. Didn't think it was going to happen. No clue. But the quote that he says at the end of the chapter, which correlates to this first page here where he first lands, I looked for a similarity. Now, I think I found it first. I'm not sure if I actually uploaded it on Reddit because Vib banned my account, and I think it was like the Thick Grape account that I have. I don't know if it actually posted on there or not. I didn't see. But chapter 41, I think I forgot what page it is. It's the meeting that Sitch called with all the villains to try and help him with this situation that was going to be coming up. The Shibabo situation. Garou talks junk, and then at the end says, "Time to conduct evil." That's the parallel, though. Go to chapter 41 and you'll find the panel of Garou saying, "Time to conduct evil," before he claps all of the villains' cheeks and starts massacring, clapping, dislocating, twisting, putting joints in reverse, ripping arms straight off to the entirety of the villains and heroes at the Sitch meeting. Is he gonna do that here again?
Fuck all that. I need bodies.
Oh, so we killing. It's a whole different game now. We're not maiming. We're gonna kill the people up here.
That's
He
what I
really-
want. If you want to be treated as absolute evil, and you could frame it in the sense of like making someone like live with certain injuries would be more villainous than just straight out giving them the mercy of death. But we haven't seen like Garou in that light to where he's trying to do that. In this frame of mind, if you want to be considered absolute evil by me, just me, I'm not saying this is the truth. You gotta get some of these bodies. Out of all these weak ass heroes, somebody gotta die.
See, that's what I think God's done to Garou, really, apart from like the big power boost, is Garou's never been one to actually kill someone. Like he's always like pushed them to the very limit, but he's never killed a human before. And like what if this is what like God's intervening is get rid of like that kind of like moral code in him that he has part of killing someone where he's like, yeah, I've now got no problem with killing. I don't know if he'll actually kill someone, but like Garou, we look at this and go, if someone didn't intervene, Garou was actually going to kill that person.
I thought it was interesting seeing Garou's kind of mentality around receiving / taking this power and his opinion on it. But yeah, in terms of the absolute evil stuff and time to conduct evil, I didn't realize that was actually a callback to chapter 41, so that's badass. But yeah, I think he's got to body people, and I vote Puri because reasons. But yeah, he's got to body someone at the very least to actually make me feel like, yo, he's actually embodying what he said he would right back in like chapter 41.
Your preference of him bodying Purry, does that have something to do with he saw Purry's junk when he found him in the room, and it's like just instinctually he remembers that, even though he wasn't in his right mind?
Pooty didn't even give him a
No,
chance to get a
it's
dick.
not that. It's mostly because of how Puri has bodied other people.
Okay, we're gonna take that road. All right.
Trying to get revenge, huh? So We're not expecting anybody to be able to do anything here, right?
No, they shouldn't be able to.
No. The question isn't like who's gonna do who's gonna actually do anything. The question
Besides
is
Atomic.
who's gonna try and stand up and do something out of these guys. Who do you think's actually gonna be like, okay, I will try and hold him off. Obviously no chance, but
I'd say Pig God. This might be the perfect moment to see that secret technique.
I made another like edit about this chapter where I was making fun of and talking trash about Flashy Flash. But the fact that you said that, if that actually happens, it'll be fact that Flashy Flash is trash. And what Platinum Sperm was talking about these fucking heroes, about like Darkshine and about all of them just being trash, not wanting to fight after they fucking get confronted, that'll be true. Because Flashy Flash's first comment here is running away would be useless.
Yeah, he's trash.
This
You
nigga
can just say that now. You don't have to wait.
like big
His first
pussy,
his first thought is running away in this situation. He's trash. I'm a Flashy Flash fan, guys. He's trash in this moment. I'm sorry. You're not no hero. Revoked.
Yep.
Give me that hero card.
Well, that's if he's just referring to himself, but he could have meant, like, for all the weaker people there, it's like, well, running away isn't really going to save any of your asses, so... Yeah.
Me personally, I think he's definitely talking about himself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very possible. We've kind of seen him try to run away from Saitama, for instance. So, the man likes to run. When
I think it is in reference to himself, and it does kind of like, come on, like that's your first thought, running away. But seeing as he is at this moment confronted with absolute evil, I think, okay, yeah, you know, he's a hero, but it's kind of fair for him to be that's his first thought. You know, can I actually run away? But I don't think it's actually going to drop his stock that much, because I get the feeling, like Matt was asking, I have a feeling that he's going to be one of the guys to actually try and put up a fight. He strikes me as that type of character. I'm hoping he carries through, along with maybe, who else do we have there? I think Metal Bat and Zombie Man.
Zombie Man, I think will.
Okay,
but go ahead, Grum.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was going to say, but I think him saying running away is useless will negate his future actions. Because then when you say running away is useless, to me, what you're basically saying is either I fight or I lay down and die.
That's exactly how I took it. Yeah.
What his actions in the future would then prove is not whether or not he's heroic, but a question of his pride, which I know he can redeem himself in a little way in that way, but I don't think his heroic title can be redeemed because his first thought was running away.
Yes.
But my question
after that is he's already backed into the corner, so he's like, "Oh shit, okay, I might as well fight." You know, basically.
Yeah. So it's kind of he has to do it whether he likes it or not. But my question to you is, did Flashy ever really have that heroic title to begin with?
Yes.
Considering
Probably
what we
not.
know about it.
Probably not.
Yes. That's the whole complaint that we've seen uniformly from these monsters to these heroes, that they're just here for the glory. That's it. Even Phoenix Man was talking about that to Child, that these heroes are just here for the glory. Like Flashy's, if Darkshine is the best example of it, or one of the best examples of it, then Flashy has to be the epitome of it. It's all based on his pride. All of it is. Like,
oh yeah, from the perspective of like civilians of One Punch Man and how they see them. But from a reader's perspective and what we know of Flash, did we ever really class him as a hero considering what we know about him?
yes.
In terms of his background, what he's done in the past and probably currently does. I think he's still a hero in the sense of he saves civilians and stuff like that. But he definitely has a shady past. I wouldn't put him up on a pedestal and say, yeah, he's the guy I expect to be heroic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We talked about that being Pig God, for example. Pig God is the epitome of what we thought a great example of a hero was. But from what I remember, even the clarification with the assassinations were that they were trying to kill Flashy first. So I don't want to say that justifies it a little bit, but to me, it definitely takes away a little bit of the teeth behind those nefarious acts. Him going out there and just killing people. Straight up just killing people. They attacked him first for some reason or some odd. Sure, okay. But it's still like, it just goes back to full circle. Like the fact that he says, and I posted it in for the people so you guys can compare exactly what I'm talking about. Whenever faced with imminent death, Atomic Samurai tells Ian his free mustache to get out of here. I'll hold him off. You can see Ian's expression on his face, like, Master, what? That's how surprised he is that he's saying this. But Flashy, even though he didn't say it, this is his first thought. Damn, I can't even run away, bitch.
And I want to clarify this. I don't think in all these heroes that their heroics are the appeal of their character, because we have heroes that we are very shady on. Metal Knight, Drive Knight. These are not characters that we're looking for heroic actions, and painted at or seeing like where they rank as like true heroes. I don't think that has to do with why we like those characters, but I'm just saying in an aspect of heroism in this instance, yeah, he's trash. This is the time to be a hero, man. This is the time.
But
Crunch time.
But doesn't it take away from like if we were to give the character an overall rating, right? Not just power and skill, but kind of what the hero rankings are, right? A combination or culmination of multiple different factors, or yeah, factors that go into that. Fuck, I almost lost what I was gonna say. Shouldn't that like the reason we love Moomin Rider is solely because of his heroic nature, not because he's strong, not because he does this and that. It's because he's heroic. His first thought, his first action, and he lays down his body is for the safe. It's for the civilian. Like that's what his main concern is. Like Moomin Rider is the type to be fighting somebody or fighting a tough opponent and then to take a big ass hit like Genos did just to protect the civilian. Another heroic action from Genos, for example. That's an example of a heroic action.
See, even in this fight, I don't see Moomin like running away. Like even like
Hell no.
like he's gonna be like, I will do whatever I can to make sure people can get out of here okay.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if it was up to Moomin, he would just be stood there, trying to keep himself in between the monster and civilians. I just think that yeah, with Flashy, he's always had a different kind of mentality. He's always been I feel like his story has always been self-preservation. So long as I'm alive, I can come back another day, train harder, all that type of stuff. Same thing with Sonic. Almost Sonic has always been, I'll go away now, come back, train harder, all that type of stuff. So I do feel like Flash, understanding that he's already got his ass knocked out a couple of times throughout this arc, and that he's lost his sword, I feel like that's his primary reaction for a reason. But I do agree that it's not in the same realm as of heroism as someone like Moomin Rider. Yeah.
So, who do we expect to step up?
Zombie. I still think Flash is going to step up, but I think Zombie and who else was there? There was Pig God and
Melbat.
Melbat.
I think Umai will. I think Moomin.
Just to save face.
Before Amai has to step up. I told people on my stream, if he does not step up, he is trash, because he was talking all that shit. Oh, why do you have a monster with you? Hey, boy, it's a monster right there. What you about to do?
That one looks a little more dangerous.
You end up pulling up on these weak ass monsters. What you about to do with Garou? I want to see that.
Kind of excuse. He's like, I've never liked space. It's always looked ugly to me. He's an Ugmon. Oh no! Like,
see, but that's exactly the same reason that Satsuki had. I was like, right, if he's pulling up on these small ass monsters and then he sees this scary ass, horrifying monster in Garou, I actually think the point that's going to be made here by Juan and by Murata is that he actually doesn't step up. I think it's going to be a consistent thing with Amai, which is whenever he's presented against someone. In the Ugmon's case, is okay, yeah, he's ugly. But in this instance, I think it's going to be something similar-ish, where for some reason or other he doesn't step up, and I think it's going to be consistent.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think Amai is going to step up. And I think Amai, because I remember the homeless scenario, Amai blitzed homeless after that attack. I think And I'm not speaking about the rest of the emotional development that you talked about. I agree with that. Amai is trash. He'll be trash if he doesn't step up and whatever. But I mean, unless you're gonna make this a huge story plot point, you have to do something here. You have to do something.
It's not necessarily, to me, it's not necessarily about, like we've said, we know none of these guys can beat Garou. It's just about who's gonna step up. And like I guess it's like a way for us to see like who the heroes really are. And I don't so for example, like a lot of the support team, I don't blame them for running away. So like what is it, like Pineapple Cutter? Like he can run, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But like I don't but like especially like it'll be very interesting to see, apart from the S class heroes, like maybe out the support team, like A, B, C, who's going to be like, yes, I'm not running. So, like, for example, Snek and Max are like the main ones I think of for this kind of stuff. They've always been like, after their losses, they're like, let's try and do what we can to help. So Snek and Max, I think, have a chance.
They proved
and it's also,
I guess,
I think it's also a case of like, let's face it, because Saitama's going to come in and save the day, right? Like, are these people, these like actual heroes, going to see Saitama? Is this what it's going to be like, set for future stuff, where someone's actually going to be like, these more about Saitama's like, wait, this B class guy, just not this guy flying?
Matt's a god, bro. I didn't even think about that shit whatsoever, bro. If Cape does come to save these motherfuckers or these individuals, they finna all see, bro. And that one guy isn't there anymore. Was it Monaco gonna be like, oh no, we weakened Garou? That's what it was, bro. We weakened Garou. Who's gonna say that?
Nah, Saitama's definitely gonna solo flare before he jumps in to punch this guy out. He's gonna use Monaco or something on his head.
I can't see Saitama getting credit for this whole Garou confrontation, because if he did that, he's S class. Like you can't, no more slow progression. He's S class. What could you say then to deny him from being S class? This isn't the King situation. What could you say?
So when Saitama like punched the meteor, for example, like Bang and Genos both saw it, both S class level heroes, but he didn't jump immediately to S class. They gave the credit to, the Hero Association were like, oh well, obviously he just helped out. It was but they saw it as like Bang and Genos doing most of the work. So he jumped up massively. So the main thing would be if I forget his name, Second Girl, right? Second Girl's the only like Hero Association staff member there. So if he saw it, then obviously yeah, Saitama would be S class if he saw anything like that. But if not, then the Hero Association would be like, no, it's look, there were a lot of heroes there, everyone did their thing, and they might not even like, they would probably like, no, the S class teamed up and saved the day kind of thing. That'd be the way if they wanted Saitama to get involved without him actually just jumping straight to S class from there.
Actually, there's another route we could take here. Okay, we know Blast is in play. The whole like, oh my god, the seal has been broken. Who's to say he's not about to appear? Well, that could be, a little while from now, but say Saitama comes back, defeats Garou or whatever ends up happening. As you mentioned, Second Guard, the only association member that's there that, that would be able to vouch for something of that regard. Well, Saitama defeats him, but say no one saw it was Saitama. Blast appears on the scene. He gets credit because he would probably recognize, oh my god, Blast showed up. He's the one who saved the day. So that was you fighting against the monster up in the air and everything else.
Also, they've got very similar designs as well. If you wanted to go that route, they've also got like the traditional hero outfit. So from a distance, it'd be easy to mistake like Blast. If they
even with his robot eye.
I mean, also, like, I know this is a jump, but you've got Amai there too. And if Amai was like, I don't want this guy in S class, then we know Amai's got leeway in the association.
Didn't Amai already see or get a glimpse of Saitama's power way in the beginning?
No.
He saw, I think in the anime, he saw a video of Saitama doing something.
Anime, yeah. Nothing in the manga.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was he saw him pop Deep Sea. Okay, cool. All right.
And then the other thing is, depending on who sees it, once again, if Second Guard sees it, then it's kind of just like an open and shut case. But if he doesn't, there's too many S-class heroes, like Matt was saying, that are present for Saitama to take the credit. I mean, King's literally sat, I think, right next to Fubuki, holding Tatsumaki, so he's there as well.
There's quite a few scapegoats of Saitama getting credit. Which is sad, but, you know, it's all part of the charm of the series at this point, right? Oh, well. Maybe one day in the finale. It'll be like 10 years from now, if not longer.
I guess we'll get into the muddy part before we head out.
Now, speaking of muddy part, has anyone noticed that Grimm is basically sunk into Atomic's ass through the course of this podcast?
You're gay, bro. You're gay.
No pause. No pause.
It's okay though. It's private.
I haven't noticed.
I just thought it was funny to mention if anyone like sees the visual representation.
Garou is crying. Yes.
Huh?
Garou is crying.
Oh yeah, that where he's crying for joy. It's
Oh,
like,
that.
Thank
Oh,
you.
the thank
for
you.
giving me the-
Man, why is he thanking God?
That's what I thought too. But then I was like, is he thinking Bang?
Nah, he thanking
I think
God.
it's
Gotta see it
soft.
Why would he be thinking God?
Does he get?
See, yeah, this is
power, bro.
This is the part where I was a little bit like, I feel like there's a bit of conflict in his approach. So he slaps away the hand of God, saying like, you know, it's an insult to how Bang would have treated the situation. Bang would never have been such a softie. But then he receives the power either way. And what it looks like to me is Garou sees his gaining of this power as some sort of moral victory for himself. Not even a moral victory, just kind of like a physical victory for himself, because he didn't lose consciousness and he didn't become like the pet of God. So he sees it as him inheriting this power and not kind of succumbing to God's kind of mind control or anything like that. He sees that as a victory, and therefore he owns the power. The power is his. But I feel like, once again, it's kind of Garou's twisted line of thinking, which is like, I don't know, man. And you kind of, that's not a power you necessarily obtained in and of yourself through, you know, your Zenkai boosts. I don't think he thinks it's like that though.
I didn't even clock he was crying until you guys just mentioned that. I just didn't even pay attention to that. But if I had to say why he was why he was saying thank you, I think it is to God, because if you look at where he was at the end of like last chapter, he was there at a situation where his biggest nightmare was coming true. An unfair hero was showing up last minute, defeating him after all the hard work he put in. And now what he's just done, as far as he knows, is this unfair hero with the new power of God. He's blasted away, he's defeated, and he's ready to achieve his dream. So to me, he's thanking God because God's the one who let him achieve his dream.
I don't think this chapter, either we're not reading it right. I don't know, bro.
It's a disgusting thought, ain't it? I don't like the thought of him thanking God.
Because Bang even says, I heard you say thank you. Did a monster do something to you? Like, that has to be contextual to who he was saying thank you to.
It's disgusting. The guard don't thank people, bro. He still the powers to keep it pushing. He gonna thank you with an ass whooping. In fact, he should be looking at God like, you next. That's what you should be doing.
But that's like God. That's God influence. That's God's influence on him then, because obviously, like, if God's gave him power, he's also like, by the way, I'm pretty great, right? You know, look at me, gave you power, beat Saitama. You know, time to conduct evil. You're welcome. No pressure, but bit of appreciation.
Oh,
For that.
man. Gar doing advertisements and shit, promotions.
He's born again.
Oh, you're gonna be a
He's fine.
Jehovah Witness. That's the new art. Have you heard about my Lord and Savior?
Well,
Bestowed this power upon me. This could be you. You could be Galactic Grim.
Cosmic Keishan.
Yo, I shake that hand, man.
Also,
would you go ahead?
funny little question. Okay, when he's crying and it's like starry tears and everything, do you think, because
Yo,
of
you
his
sound evil
whole,
as fuck.
space, no, the whole space visage, like if it pulled on the ground enough, do you think it would like form a little galaxy or something?
His tears?
Yeah, because it's nothing but stars and stuff. Just
He probably could. I don't know. His whole body is weird, bro.
I know. I want to know if it extends beyond himself. We only see that one time where it's kind of like leaving his body, but it's still somewhat attached because it's overlapping him a bit. So I'm wondering if that, goes beyond him.
Probably
If that's
just
the
be a cool-
case,
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say if that's the case, then I'm testing that out. You know what I'm doing.
It's gotta be Bang, bro. Especially with the following
Crying stuff?
dialogue.
Thank you. No, I think Matt and Satsuki. I'm not sure about Kishin. Did you say? But I'm pretty sure we're thinking he said that because the whole looking up at the sky. Yeah, the whole looking up at the sky, tears falling, and then his kind of interaction with Bang after that. It's gotta be aimed at God.
But let me read the rest of the dialogue there that he says when he's talking to Bang. He says, "Old man, you once taught me something, to feel the flow of energy and become one with that flow. That is the power of the water stream," he said. "I've become one with the flow and succeeded in controlling it. I'm truly grateful." So he even reiterates his gratitude to Bang. That's why I feel the first one has to be to Bang. Because he can't be thinking God. He's not thinking God. I believe, I agree with you, Matt, that I think there is some underlying influence here. The biggest sign being that God and Garou's intentions or goals happen to align. That's my biggest clue, or my reasoning for why God may have more influence over Garou than he would like or than he thinks. But I really think he's thinking Bang and not God.
Nah, because it's the way, like, it'd be a weird flow for me if he thought thank you and then is surprised to see Bang on the floor and then reiterates his thank you. It just, that flow all seems off. I think Matt's point earlier of him thanking God for allowing him to achieve this dream that he's had for years, man, for us at the very least.
But
that makes
take
a
away
lot
from
of sense.
Garou to you. Like that to me was the best part of the chapter. Nothing else. When Garou said,
No, that does definitely take away from Garou from me, and the whole reasoning of his, like, that point I made about him accepting the powers and kind of seeing it as his own victory. That's what kind of takes away from Garou from me. I'm not sure what you guys think about that. His whole explanation of like how he slapped at the hand, and then like, yeah, but now I have the power, and I'm not sure what you guys think about his whole kind of mental process and what he thinks of that.
Well, looking back on all of this, the giving thanks, okay, it's kind of confirmed he didn't know that Bang was still alive, so he could have just been looking up into the sky and thanking Bang. Straight up, because he thinks, well, he was a good guy, he's up in heaven, thanks for helping me achieve this dream. You're the one that taught me the flow of energy, and I was able to get the power of God and use that to its fullest potential. And now I am absolute evil. And then it's like, Garou, is that you? Hey, old man, you're still alive. Okay. And then he has to tell him what he was thanking him for. Because obviously Bang wouldn't be able to hear him inside of his own head. So
To me, it would take away from his character, but it just depends on if this is all we're going to get from it. Because how it's executed by itself, I would be kind of like turned off if he was, because this is not within Garou's character to just accept the handout. He's always been someone to work hard for it, steal it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we've had like a blueprint for this. We've all seen Dragon Ball Z. We all know of Majin Vegeta, and I think this is a similar situation to it because Vegeta is a very prideful character who accepted the power of Babidi, got the emblem in his forehead, took the power, in which that was a situation where he pretty much sold himself into slavery. And we know with his past of freezing and everything like that, that's not really within Vegeta's character, but he goes on to elaborate when Goku basically taunts him about, like, you really sold yourself to Babidi? Like, that's really you, Vegeta? And then he says that iconic line of, is it slavery when you get what you want? I think if there's a situation like that where Garou further elaborates why he took the power, then it'll be fine. But by itself, right now, I'm not really feeling him thanking God and whatnot.
See, to me, like, God didn't give him a choice. He forced the power onto him. That's what I took it as, because literally the moment after he's like, well, you touched my hand, God, like, Garou's sweating after that, because like he starts to change. Like, all God says to him is like, take my power, do what you will with it. You already know what to do though. And then like and literally Garou says, I nearly lost consciousness from the intense flow of power throughout my entire body. It's not like Garou said, yeah, give me the power. God was just like, you're having it. That's it.
Yeah, I think with that context, actually, Matt, it does make it a little bit better. It's not in the sense of Garou just being happy he got this handout. It's more, if this is going to be forced on me and I managed to not succumb to it, the damn straight might as well use it, right?
If you're handing out ultimate power, hey, I'll take it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to do your objective.
Sorry, Tario. This is goodbye. What do you think? What does that mean?
I guess he's fully ready to throw away his humanity. If, like, we've always said, like, Taurus is linked to his humanity, right? So the fact that he's like, this is it now, we're done. Like, he's fully ready to just be a monster. Which, once I think is like, as I said, I think this is like what God's put like influences on him. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I think if they were gonna have any chance of like prompting the human side of Garou, it'd be throw Tario at him, just yeet him towards Garou. But this is a situation where I'm kind of hoping something like that does happen, because we would then get to see Garou's kind of turmoil at having to decide, is Tario someone who he's willing to, in the pursuit of being absolute evil, is Tario someone he's willing to sacrifice or not? That would be a really interesting dilemma for him. Probably not something that's going to happen, because it looks like he's just ready to body people, and like Matt said, yeah, lose that human side of him and fully become absolute evil.
For me, pretty much what Matt said already.
All right. We already kind of talked about the whole time to conduct evil thing, the parallels and the possibilities of what could happen in contrast to chapter 41, and in contrast to all of our speculation and our predictions. 166 has the same potential as 165. I'm here for it. Continue to subscribe. We've blown up, get the 2K over this past week and a half here. Congratulations, boys. We did that. Good shit. So now we
You're
Yep.
like the video, subscribe. There are plenty of other channels in the description of these individuals. in which you can find content of One Punch Man. Period. Period. So yeah, do that. And your life will be fulfilling. So I know what else you want to tell you, but like, if you're sad, watch One Punch Man video. It's a simple solution, but it's like 2 + 2 = 4. If you're sad,
Yo, someone make a T-shirt. If you're sad, watch One Punch Man. I think, hey, someone needs to make that.
And then on the back it says, and if you're happy, still watch it. It's good.
yeah, that's good. Yo!